in my opinion, if we're gonna be honest and judge players based on how they play, there's a new number 1 overall pick. There is.
Remember when Geno Auriemma passed on Caitlin Clark for UConn and doubted her skills heading into the WNBA? It seems he's regretting that decision now, as Clark isn't just breaking records, she's exceeding them. Time Athlete of the Year and Associated Press Athlete of the Year, both achieved.
Geno Auriemma, Caitlin Clark again. The world turns. It's Caitlin Clark's world. We just live on planet Caitlin.
Meanwhile, Geno's star player, Paige Bueckers, is finding it hard to keep up. Once the projected number 1 pick in the 2025 draft, she's no longer seen as the top player in college basketball. It looks like Geno's decision might end up costing him the next big star in women's hoops. Who's the one out of touch now? Geno.
Delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's 3rd or 4th in betting odds on being MVP of the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay, so the kid was set up for failure right from the beginning.
Remember when Geno Auriemma, the self-proclaimed basketball genius, passed on Caitlin Clark? It's like he ignored a diamond for a stone. Was it arrogance or poor judgment? Whatever it was, it's coming back to haunt him like that regretful spicy burrito at 2 a.m.
Her game is different than Caitlin's in that she's more of just a distributor, get the ball. You know, her game is more like Sue Bird's game. All right? And not that Sue had the physicality to play in that league, but obviously she's the best point guard ever. But I think her game, the subtleties of her game will
Here's where it gets interesting. While Geno was playing hard to get with Clark, other coaches saw her potential and were all in. They recognized a once-in-a-generation talent, while Geno seemed too focused on his trophies to notice. Clark's high school stats were off the charts. Video game numbers, really, but Geno missed it.
Geno, baby, if Caitlin Clark is on the team, it becomes the right team. Because Caitlin Clark is on it. It's like saying Michael Jordan's not on the right team. It's the right team if Michael Jordan is on the roster.
Instead, Geno went all in on Paige Bueckers, the so-called can't-miss prospect, thinking he had the golden ticket. But guess what? That ticket might be a dud. Clark is now the talk of the town, winning Time Athlete of the Year, SBJ Sportsperson of the Year, and Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year. Meanwhile, Bueckers, well, we'll get to that later. Let's just say she's not living up to the hype and might not even be the top pick in the 2025 WNBA draft.
I'm sorry, can we stop judging Paige Bueckers by who she was when she was 19 years old and not judging 23-year-old Paige Bueckers? Because 23-year-old Paige Bueckers is not as good as 21-year-old Olivia Moss. And I mean that. I really mean that.
But wait, it gets even better. This snub wasn't just about passing on Clark. Geno took it a step further by criticizing her. He said her game wouldn't translate well to the collegiate level and even called her fans delusional for their high expectations. Ouch. Now, with Clark's success, Geno's probably lying awake at night, wondering how he missed the mark so badly. It's like he aimed for the basket and hit the popcorn vendor instead.
Disrespectful, unknowledgeable, stupid fans. Diana said it best. Ooh boy. Diana said it best. I would like to point out that Diana Taurasi, 6-time gold medalist now, because she dragged her 42-year-old aging bones over to Paris and got an extra gold medal while Caitlin Clark was sitting at home watching, presumably. Caitlin Clark's rookie year numbers are better than the sainted, the goated Diana Taurasi. Caitlin Clark's having a better rookie year than she had. Miss Reality Check herself, Diana Taurasi.
Pride comes before the fall, and Geno is falling hard. His choice to favor Bueckers over Clark is backfiring, with analysts pointing out his mistake. Clark's success is keeping Geno up at night. Why is Paige struggling, and is Geno to blame?
Don't care how good Paige Bueckers was in high school. I really don't. Like, I'm hearing people mentioning Paige being the National Player of the Year as a freshman as why to draft her 4 years later. I don't care.
Remember when Paige Bueckers exploded onto the scene as a freshman, dazzling everyone with her skills? Well, it seems that star might be fading faster than a sparkler on New Year's.
Just having a good season so far. I don't think it's her greatest performance or her greatest season so far, and she's struggled in a couple of these games.
Let's break it down. Sure, she's still scoring nearly 20 points per game, but that's not the full picture. Her stats, points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks have all dropped compared to last year, with some even lower than her freshman year. That's a far cry from the all-around player we saw coming out of high school.
Until recently, they are starting their teams. Iowa beat them in the Final Four last season. South Carolina has been on a tear. We have LSU. Tennessee is back in the mix. We have Notre Dame coming up. Like, we have TCU. We have Duke. I'm going to call out the two teams that Auriemma and Aaliyah are on. There are these great programs who are taking a new age style of basketball when it comes to coaching, when it comes to system, and it comes to how you're letting your players play, that maybe Geno does need to adapt a little.
Here's where it gets interesting. Bueckers isn't just underperforming, she's vanishing in big games. Remember that 11-point showing against Holy Cross, or the 8-point performance against Louisville? Not to mention the 11-point loss to Notre Dame, where Bueckers had about as much impact as rearranging deck chairs on a sinking ship. What's wild? Fans are starting to use the O word. Overrated. Ouch.
Overrated.
That's gotta sting, but can you blame them? Going from College Player of the Year to barely making an impact in key games will get people talking. But wait, there's more. Is it just Buecker? Or is the Geno system part of the issue? Some are starting to wonder if Auriemma's old-school style is like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. In fact, some experts think Geno's approach might be holding Bueckers back more than a pair of cement shoes.
Paige Bueckers and the UConn Huskies front and center this season in women's basketball. Some fans are starting to question Geno Auriemma's coaching style and wondering if it's truly what's best for Paige.
Bueckers is shooting 56% from the field, her best yet, but it feels like she's swapped aggression for efficiency. In big games, she's more like a basketball librarian, quiet and efficient, but not making an impact.
He basically said, well, Paige just likes to stand around. She's not really aggressive and she's not going to go after the ball. So that's just what Paige likes to do. He kind of threw her under the bus. And a lot of fans are starting to notice that Geno says a lot of things to the media about his team, about his players that are starting to rub certain people the wrong way.
Let's address the elephant in the room. There are rumors that Bueckers might be deliberately underperforming to avoid being drafted by the Dallas Wings. Talk about a plot twist. It's like a soap opera, but with more dribbling and less drama. Meanwhile, while Caitlin Clark's star is skyrocketing, Bueckers is fading fast, like watching a race where one runner sprints to the finish line and the other jogs backward.
The reason why Paige Bueckers is seen as a formality the #1 overall pick was because she was the best player in the world, her age, in the world when she was 18. Because she was better than Caitlin Clark 4 years ago. Well, I'm sorry, like, Andrew Wiggins was better than Nikola Jokic when they were 18 years old. What difference does that make? What difference does that make now? Like, I can guarantee you when Michael Jordan was 16 years old, he was cut from his high school team. Like, you don't judge players based on how good they were in a past.
The real question is, can Bueckers turn it around, or is this the new normal? Will she rise like a phoenix or fade into basketball obscurity? One thing's for sure, the pressure's on. Bueckers needs to step up and fast, because in women's basketball, you're only as good as your last game. And right now, Bueckers' last game isn't exactly one to brag about.
Bueckers has been front and center in the women's basketball media landscape. There is so much hype around her, and a lot of people have a microscope on her and the UConn Huskies. A lot of people are expecting Paige to win her first national title this year with UConn before she does declare for the WNBA.
I don't see any reason why Olivia Miles should not be #1 overall pick right now. She's 2.5 years younger than Paige. She is 5'10" point guard. She's an inch shorter than Paige Bueckers. She is a better point guard. She's just coming off the back of 2 consecutive triple doubles for Notre Dame. And Notre Dame are better than UConn. They just are. It really doesn't matter who the higher recruits were, who was better. At this point in time, Olivia Moss is a better player. And especially, you might be saying, oh, but like efficiency. Olivia Moss shoots 55% from the field. They shoot the same percentage from the field. From 3. Olivia Moss shoots 40 something percent from 3. Paige Bueckers shoots 40. Olivia Moss is a better passer. Olivia Moss runs the show better. Olivia Moss is a better decision maker. And you might be saying, oh, but like Paige Bueckers' efficiency and all this. If your efficiency comes from passiveness, then it is fake efficiency. Anyone can be efficient only shooting catch and shoot open shots and layups and like easy pull-ups. When your efficiency comes at the expense of aggression, it doesn't count. I don't understand why it's just an automatic given she's the number 1 overall pick. She's not been the best player in college, and she is not the best player that's available in this draft. She has been outplayed by Olivia Moss this season. You draft based on who is going to be the best at this point in time. And not only do I believe that Olivia Moss is a better basketball player than Paige Bueckers right now, she's also a much better point guard. I think even if you're trying to argue and Paige Bueckers is better, Olivia Moss is a better point guard, and I think that's very difficult to argue against that point. I think it's very difficult to say that Olivia Moss or Paige Bueckers is better at the point guard position than Olivia Moss, which is why the Dallas Wings are going to